Good evening to Forest and community members. Welcome. We're really excited to have our Forest Focus webinar this evening on parent and carer insight into RSHE. I know there's been a lot of parent carer feedback and wanting to hear more about what we're doing, and we're really excited to share that with you this evening. As always, we're not expecting any technical difficulties, but please do bear with us if we encounter any problems at all. I think what's really exciting about this webinar series is, yes, we have a variety of external speakers and organisations represented, and that's wonderful. But actually, these are moments where we can really celebrate the skills and expertise that we have amongst our staffing body, obviously including our board of governors, trustees, etc. So it's really nice actually to be able to present on something that has been developed in-house for the pupils. And of course, Miss Arthur will, as I'll introduce shortly, will cover all of the external organisations that we use to support our RSHE curriculum. But it's important that actually we really celebrate the opportunities and resources we have at Forest. Before I do hand over to Miss Arthur, who's head of RSHE and deputy head of middle school pastoral and safeguarding, please don't forget our upcoming webinar in March. Further details will be sent, and that's actually going to focus on AI. So our academic team, Mr. Key, will be looking at artificial intelligence and our response to that as a school. So again, we're really trying to broaden our webinars for you. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Miss Arthur, who's our head of RSHE, deputy head of middle school, pastoral and safeguarding.
A seamless transition. Welcome. Thank you all so much for joining us this evening. Tonight, we'll hopefully provide an opportunity to discuss RSHE, offering information and insight into what we do at Forest. The fact that you're here, you clearly care about RSHE as much as we do. We understand the importance of it in your children's lives, and we take it seriously, the responsibility that we have in our own preparation and delivery of the RSHE curriculum. So before I go into the agenda and what we're going to look at this evening, we're really privileged to have been joined by Stephen Berryman, who is our RSHE Link Governor, and he is just going to say a few words before we get into the main body of the presentation.
Good evening, everyone. It's lovely to be here. RSHE is a really key part of school life, hence why we have that Link Governor on the council. I'm really delighted to do that. And I'm really pleased that you're here, and we're really thrilled with what Emily's doing across the school. This is a very complicated, nuanced, sophisticated part of the curriculum, and all of us in the school curriculum and community have a vested interest in its success, and we're really thrilled that you are here this evening to learn more about what Emily's doing. But thank you, Miss Arthur, for letting me join you this evening, and I look forward to hearing about the work too.
Thank you so much, Stephen. So hopefully you can all see the presentation. I'll just come into shot a bit more. So thank you again for joining us. This is our agenda here. So we really want this evening to give you an overview of how RSHE is structured, our rationale, and how we deliver it to all year groups. We are proud that at RSHE at Forest runs a full programme from our youngest to oldest pupils that develops across the ages and stages. And we're also pleased to have parents and carers here from year 7 all the way through to the 6th form. The experience for RSHE in these different age brackets, of course, is tailored throughout. Tonight, firstly, we are offering this evening a holistic view of that full programme at Forest and how that fits the national RSHE landscape. Unfortunately, we will not be able to facilitate questions live this evening, but please do email in and we can either arrange a further time in a call or a meeting if you have matters pertaining particularly to your child, or just have more queries, more generally speaking. So, food for thought, time for a bit of a trip down memory lane. And I've got 2 questions here for you to think about. Firstly, what was your own PSHE, so personal, social, health and economic education, and RSE, relationships and sex education at school like? Secondly, what would you like for your child to learn about in school? Now, if we were all in the same space, I might have asked for a brave volunteer to share their experience. But as we're in the virtual world, I will share mine. The sum total of my RSE at school consisted of 2 videos. The teacher wheeled in the TV to our classroom, popped the first video on. We were excited, chance to watch TV at school. We had no insight as to what was about to come next or why we were watching TV. So it was a bit of a surprise when we see a clip of a family playing sport, a mother and daughter playing tennis, and a father and son playing frisbee. Oh, and I forgot to mention, they were all totally nude. I think that was how we were supposed to learn about different bodies. The next video was put on with no discussion about what we had just seen. This time it was a video of a woman giving birth. And that was our only education about where babies came from. As you can see here from some anecdotal feedback from a recent survey carried out by the Sex Education Forum, these are some other sort of more recent recollections to do with their RSHE experience. So we watched a video of a dog giving birth. Mine started with an inappropriate joke. I literally have no recollection of it. We can do better. We must do better for our young people. So fundamentally, our answer to this question, why does it matter, is that we teach our pupils to stay safe and be prepared for life in their school years and time with us at Forest and beyond. Our subject teaches them responsibility for their actions to themselves and others, and helps young people with the challenges of growing up in a world lived in person and online. It helps develop respectful relationships with others. For example, in RSHE, it has the potential to influence young people's sexual behaviour, such as delaying initiation of sex. RSHE also keeps young people safe by increasing their understanding and use of contraceptives, mitigates the risk of pornography, and more widely, it can influence children and young people's engagement in risky behaviours. High impact RSHE aims to contribute to improved mental health, helps tackle sexual harassment and bullying, and safeguards children. Our answer to this question really could go on, and we were really heartened that in the most recent People RSHE surveys, a significant number of pupils told us that they wanted more time dedicated to RSHE. Without even realising it, they are telling us that they are embodying the school's vision to be curious, to be caring, and to be confident. So PSHE and RSE are both compulsory in all schools, and additionally, we are required to have policies for both. These policies are reviewed annually and signed off by the leadership team and the school governors. All policies are available on our school website. So 2 points that are interesting to note is that parents and carers do have the right to withdraw from one element of the RSE specific, so that's relationship, sex education space, and that is the sex education element. This can happen up until 3 terms before your child turns 16. And whilst health education is not compulsory in the independent sector, it is something that we do have as part of our Forest curriculum, as we feel that it is important for the holistic development of our pupils. Now, at Forest, we've combined PSHE and RSE, and all of the components that I've just mentioned come under RSHE. 2 key pieces of government-issued statutory guidance relate to RSE specifically and safeguarding children. So keeping children safe in education is updated annually and is the key document that relates to safeguarding and child protection in educational settings. Now, it's a 178-page document, so I'll share with you just a few lines that relate directly to RSHE. Schools and colleges play a crucial role in preventative education. Preventative education is most effective in the context of a whole school or college approach that prepares pupils and students for life in modern Britain and creates a culture of zero tolerance for sexism, misogyny, misandry, homophobia, biphobia, and sexual violence or harassment. The school or college will have a clear set of values and standards upheld and demonstrated throughout all aspects of school or college life. These will be underpinned by the school's or college's behaviour policy and pastoral support system, as well as by a planned programme of evidence-based RSHE delivered in regularly timetabled lessons and reinforced throughout the whole curriculum. Such a programme should be fully inclusive and developed to be age and stage of development appropriate, especially when considering the needs of children with SEND and other vulnerabilities. This really does frame all of our approach here at Forest. RSE statutory guidance released in June 2019, updated for September 2021. Now, you may have seen recently that there is a government review of this relationship and sex education guidance pending. Almost this time last year, concerns were raised by members of Parliament and in the press about materials apparently being used in RSHE lessons. The Prime Minister asked the Department for Education to ensure that schools are not teaching inappropriate or contested content and accelerated the upcoming review of the existing guidance. Now, this was meant to be published at the end of last year. However, we are still waiting to see the results of this review. We really welcome this review, as anything that offers greater clarity for schools to ensure consistent, high-quality RSHE can only be a positive thing. Now, this document provides the context for our own school policy, which is available on our school website in full. We have also used this to inform our personal development curriculum. Now, whilst I won't read out the policy to you this evening in full, we've chosen extracts regarding sort of aims from our RSHE policy and safe and effective practice in RSHE, which I'll share with you now. So this course is central to all aspects of school life. It's thinking, planning, teaching and organisation, and as such has a positive influence on people's learning and relationships throughout the whole school community. Provision of RSHE is explicitly designed to contribute to the process of growing up and preparation of pupils for responsibility in adult life by promoting fundamental British values and by passing those enduring universal values which help to nurture people's integrity and autonomy so that they become responsible and caring citizens capable of contributing to the development of a just society. We will ensure a safe learning environment by providing staff training and by teachers and pupils agreeing on ground rules at the beginning of each academic year, and if necessary, revisiting those specific topics. While staff will encourage discussion, it will not be through personal disclosures from either themselves or pupils during a lesson. Through teaching strategies, distancing techniques will be used, such as being in a role play. This allows pupils to explore their feelings safely. Pupils will always be signposted to staff they can talk to and external agencies for each topic, as well as being signposted to our digital partners. Before a sensitive topic, pupils will be told of the timings well in advance, both through the programme of study and verbally by the teacher. If a pupil feels uncomfortable or sensitive about a topic, they will be encouraged to speak to either their teacher or a member of their pastoral team. To extend that idea of safe practice principles, RSHE for most year groups is delivered as part of a timetabled RSHE curriculum, as well as the personal development curriculum at Forest, where centrally designed lessons are taught across cohorts by staff who have training in RSHE. Our lessons are delivered to ensure pupils feel safe, whilst also encouraging but not mandating participation. We refer to reliable sources of information such as the PSHE Association, and we revisit both the curriculum as a whole and the related resources each academic year to ensure their effectiveness and suitability for that year group. To challenge any form of discrimination and ensure all members of the school community feel included, whatever their sexual orientation, religion or race, we teach in line with the Equality Act 2010. We have recently appointed Grace Green as Assistant Head of RSHE, and she and I will be working closely together to develop the RSHE curriculum to ensure that we are up to date with the relevant themes and any hot topics that are relevant for our young people at Forest, as well as following the statutory guidance in an age and stage appropriate manner. Just to show you a little bit about the different sort of age groups and what is on offer for each year group. So years 7, 8 and 9 currently have one lesson a cycle. This will change for year 7 from September 2024, when they will have one lesson a week. Year 10 have a protected morning or afternoon focused on RSHE once a half term. Year 11, during Michaelmas term, have 2 protected sessions, and during Lent term, they have timetabled lessons. Now, this will change from September 2024, when they will have RSHE once a week for Michaelmas and Lent term. In the sixth form, the RSHE is incorporated into the personal development curriculum, which is delivered by tutors. Year 12 have 1 lesson a week and Year 13 have 1 lesson a cycle. Moving forward, we're exploring further additional capacity for additional lessons for Years 8 and 9. For all year groups, themes and topics highlighted in the RSE statutory guidance are also covered in the personal development curriculum, which is delivered as part of the start of day arrangements, including afternoon registration. You can continue to expect to hear from me in writing before RSHE mornings or afternoons, as well as at the start of each term. I will continue to send through the scheme of work so that you have it for your information. Now, training is essential, and ensuring our staff are fully trained is imperative for essential delivery inside and outside of the classroom. Topics from the RSHE curriculum can sort of bleed into free-form discussions, and in order to create a cohesive and informed culture, we think all forest staff should be trained regarding RSHE. This has happened. We also have carried out multiple training sessions for RSHE teachers specifically, as well as held drop-in sessions ahead of topics that staff have expressed that they would like additional support in. Staff training is also something that is revisited throughout the year and is certainly not a tick box exercise. So a couple of comments there for you to review. We recently had the charity Everyone's Invited come to deliver whole school training about the potentially damaging themes that they are seeing in the online space through social media and language that we should be aware of in case it's used by our pupils out of context so that we can address it in the moment. There was an overwhelmingly positive response from staff, with one staff member stating that having had the training session, it had already helped them improve their practice. So this is something that we are looking to continue with throughout the course of the year. Now, in terms of external speakers, I send these to you ahead of time, but here are some of the speakers that we are delighted to either have already invited or look forward to inviting across the academic year. Now, speakers join us with their learning objectives and outcomes agreed in advance, and with us having previewed their materials. We ensure external contributors' input is part of the planned programme and endeavours to enhance it. In addition to this, all external speakers have to come highly recommended, have worked with other leading schools, and also sign a contract where they state that they will uphold our values and abide by the school's equality commitments, not promote a particular agenda, and understand that if they do, their talk will be terminated by a member of staff. Teachers are always present during these talks to manage the learning, and the pupils find it valuable to hear from real-world voices that give them a chance to extend their learning. So what do our pupils say? Throughout the academic year, and also after external speakers have visited, we ask our pupils for feedback via various surveys. They serve two purposes: as knowledge checks, so that we can see that the curriculum has successfully been understood by our pupils, and if not, it gives us an opportunity to revisit that material. It also provides us with insightful feedback to support our planning for the coming year. The feedback here was overwhelmingly positive. This is from Year 12, with pupils able to recognise and identify the key themes that have been taught, such as unhealthy relationships, and also what they can do and who they can go to for help. Pupil voice back from Year 10 and 11. So this means that, there are some sort of options here, but in terms of sort of checking, this means that some of the questions gather their opinions on the course and others check their learning. So one such opinion about a misconception regarding STIs is displayed for you on the screen there. So I'm very pleased that the pupil now knows that STIs don't always, in fact, kill you. So obviously we had to address that misconception there, which was brilliant to have the external speaker in to do so. There's just some more sort of anecdotal feedback here. This is after some external speakers have spoken to the Year 10 and 11 groups. The main comments suggesting that they were engaged with the topics being spoken about, and ultimately they wanted more talks and more timetabled curriculum time. An example of checking their learning. So one of the questions in the survey asked, do you know what the protected characteristics are? And as you'll see here, we had mixed results. Some they knew really, really well. However, there were some that they were less familiar with. So knowing this has allowed for feedback sessions and resources to be layered to ensure understanding. Sessions in the personal development curriculum to recover this important topic for that year group are essential and have already happened as a consequence of these results to ensure that we have dedicated additional time to covering the Equality Act and understanding protected characteristics. So as we come into land on today's session, there are a few other elements that we would like to show and share with you. So firstly, this is just an example of our additional support links, which are designed to signpost our pupils to sources for further information based on the specific lesson that they've just received. These appear in every lesson and is referred to frequently in lessons so that pupils know that they can access additional support. Obviously including their core pastoral team of tutor, head of house, deputy head of section or head of section. However, we also incorporate a slide pertaining to our digital partners. This is attached at every lesson as well as in pupil notices every week. In touching on a range of topics that pupils might find difficult to process, we want to assure them that there is support in school via our established pastoral care structures and also reliable external sources that we can point them to. Of course, we know that you at home are incredible important sources of support. In essence, we hope that you will lean into conversations with your children at home. Keep it simple and honest, but do talk to them about puberty and sexual intercourse and relationships. Field the tricky questions, let them know that they can come and talk to you. Take a keen interest in what your child is viewing online and keep up to date with developments in topics that relate to RSHE, which are almost in the news every day. For example, the rise of vaping. And know that you are not alone. We are here to have joined up conversations with you if you are worried about something that your child raises. We will do what we can to help and to reach out to your child's pastoral team to begin that dialogue. And know that there are some really reliable resources of support for you out there as parents. We highlight just 3 here, but Brooke for sexual health, the Wellbeing Hub for all matters relating to the wellbeing of young people, which you can access through your parent portal, and then ChildNet as well for online matters. So that was a whistle-stop tour of everything that we're doing so far, but we do hope that this evening has given you an insight into RSHE here at Forest. But of course, we continue to move forward. A subject like RSHE is constantly evolving, and as such, our curriculum is constantly developing and being reviewed. This evening, we have been part of the collection of Forest Focus webinars that cover a range of different topics, many of which with an RSHE focus. I will try to highlight these to you, and I write to you each term to let you know the scheme of work so that you also can calendar these events. As we said earlier, the RSE guidance from Department of Education was due at the end of 2023. Which we await with interest, and we will work hard to implement its contents in due course. And here at Forest, we are looking to carry out parent and carer RSHE consultations. We really hope that you'll be able to take part in that so that you can help us to shape the direction of RSHE for our whole school community. This will be communicated in action following the governmental review so that we can ensure we are implementing any changes effectively and then communicate these with you. And finally, following this evening, we will create a pack of digital resources from this evening to be sent to you. That pack will include links to our policies, programme of speakers, and the slides from this evening's presentation. But that's it from me, and just a massive thank you all for listening. And if you do have any questions, please do let me know via email so we can either arrange a call or a meeting. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.